Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel where we talk about interior design tips and inspiration. Today we'll be continuing our design style series and talking all about glam interiors. This might be glam to you, this might be Hollywood Regency, this might be Hollywood Glam. This kind of has a few different names, and although they are a little bit different, we're going to talk about them kind of as a whole today. If you are new to my channel or this series, we go over the background of design styles, some key elements that you can identify this look with, some ways on how you can incorporate this design style into your home, and similar styles in case you are interested but maybe aren't completely in love with this style. So let's go ahead and start with the background of glam style. This style dates all the way back to the 1930s during the Hollywood Golden Age. As you could probably guess, this is coming from Hollywood, LA, California, and is a style that started more with movie stars and celebrities that have a really luxurious interior design style. This design style is very sophisticated, but it also has some sexy qualities into it and giving it quite a bit of personality. You have very glamorous materials being introduced here, so you'll see very high shine elements, you'll see some really rich, luxurious fabrics being used, and oftentimes in these glam interiors, style has more individualized attention from room to room rather than viewing the whole home as a one cohesive unit. They still all go together in some sense or another, but they are a little bit more individualized. Jumping into key elements for this design style, again, there's not a whole lot of architectural details that are very signature to this style, but I do want to mention that lighting is a very focal point in this design style. So you'll see a lot of chandeliers that are very glam, have crystals, are very shiny, are very hard to miss, they're very grand. So lighting is definitely a very big focal point in this design style. As for furniture in this design style, anything eye-catching is exactly what you want to include in this design style. You may see things from different periods or different styles. You'll see some mid-century modern influence here for the furniture design aspect, but you'll also see some inspiration from Art Deco, which is really fun too. There is a lot of mixing and matching when it comes to this design style. You may see some interiors that have a lot more vintage items, and you may see some glam interiors that are much more modern and contemporary. High gloss and lacquered materials are often used in furniture. You'll also see some mirrored pieces, and a lot of these furniture pieces will have a very high sheen, whether that's glass, whether that's the lacquer, whether that's mirrored or metal. You'll see a lot of high shine materials being used here. As for color palettes, there can be a lot of really bold, saturated colors being used in this design style. Pink, yellow, gold, turquoise. There can be a lot of different colors that can be incorporated into this design style. For everyday glam interiors, you will see a lot more neutral colors and a lot of black and white being used in this design style. You won't necessarily always have these really large pops of color, but the signature design style, you do see quite a bit of this. As for window treatments, you will mostly see things that are very rich, weighted, luxurious, very heavy materials being used as window coverings to really give that elegant, rich feeling that this design style goes for. As for accessories, you're really looking for things with a lot of personality. So we talked a lot about chandeliers, but there are other kinds of lighting like a table lamp to dress up this space as well. You might see table lamps being in some sort of like animal shape or be inspired by something a little bit more funky. So definitely have some statement accessory items in this design style, something that gives a talking point, something that you wouldn't normally see. A lot of these really fun, bold accessories in this design style. Now moving on to 3 different ways you can get this look into your home right now. The first thing I want to suggest is to have some fun walls. This may look like painting them a bright hue, but I would also definitely suggest to think about some bold wallpaper. You may also want to think about adding some paneling or some sort of like architectural detail to these walls. because that will definitely give an elevated effect to a room. For smaller spaces, I would definitely say that it would be really fun to go for a bold wallpaper, but for larger areas, maybe like a living room, doing some sort of molding or paneling on the wall, I think would be a safer bet. My second suggestion is something that we've talked about a few times now in this video, but is to add bold lighting, whether that's a chandelier, a floor lamp, a table lamp, whatever that looks like. Adding some decorative lighting is going to be a really fun way, a really easy way to elevate the experience of your home. And my third suggestion is to use intentional fabrics. So like I talked about a little bit earlier, this design style really wants to emulate a richness, a sophistication, a sexiness. It really has this very specific personality. Using things like linen and cotton aren't really gonna give you quite the same effect as if you use like really rich velvets or suedes or leathers, something that has a little bit more weight, thick and heavy and luxurious. So I definitely suggest using some of those more rich materials in the design. And moving on to some similar styles of this glam interior. There are two different styles that I mentioned throughout this video, which are Art Deco and mid-century modern design. And those are both suggestions that I would make for you. Mid-century modern, we have already discussed in this design style series, so go ahead and take a peek over there. Mid-century modern interiors aren't usually neutral, so there are some fun color if you like the color aspect of this design style. But like I said, there's also a lot of overlap in furniture pieces, so that may be a good idea for you to check out. As far as Art Deco, we have not made that video quite yet, but be on the lookout for that. It is definitely a very bold style that has a lot of personality. There's a lot of pattern, there's a lot of color, and it's very eye-catching, and it's a very fun, energetic design style. So those are my two suggestions for other design styles to check out in case you are interested in glam interiors, but maybe this doesn't quite hit home for you. All right, and that's everything that I have for today's video all about glam interiors. I hope that you enjoyed and hopefully you learned a thing or two about this design style. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that we catch you next week when we talk about French country design. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye.